Amp in the time machine, come take a ride through the 1930s with style and stride. Books, films, and fashion, the songs that remain. We regret nothing, the past calls our name.
Welcome back to We Regret Nothing. I'm your host, Sean, and today we're stepping back into the wardrobe of the 1930s. In our last episode, Michelle, Andrea, and Lori introduced the first 10 items from our list of the top 20 fashion pieces of the decade. Styles that reflected elegance, resilience, and a shifting sense of identity during the most challenging time in our history. Today, we're bringing you the next 10 fashion items, completing the full list of 20. And once everything is on the table, the real work begins. By the end of this episode, hopefully, we'll narrow it all down to a definitive top 10 looks of the 1930s. This is where the debates sharpen. Practicality versus glamour, everyday wear versus high fashion, cultural influence versus lasting style. Every choice means leaving something behind. So, whether it's bias cuts, bold tailoring, or understated sophistication, join us as we debate, defend, and ultimately decide which fashion trends rise to the top 10 and move one step closer to our capsule. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello, Andrea.
Sean.
And I would like to welcome back Lori, who is, I'm just checking your fit today, Lori. You gotta stand up.
All right. Oh,
Let's see the outfit.
okay. Hey, girl. Hey.
Leopard print, which was big. Tarzan movie came out, I think, 32. We have an homage to the beach pajamas and a little bit of leisure wear and a little shoulder pad.
I see the shoulder pad now.
Yes.
What a great outfit.
Thank you.
Okay.
How come nobody told me I had to wear my pajamas?
I wasn't going to call out
Because you
the
don't
two,
wear pajamas.
the other two people in jeans and sweatshirts, but
I have stripy socks on.
I got skunk socks on.
okay. So let's start with number 11. And I put, just like I said in the last episode, a lot of these items that I put in, I'm talking about more kind of the general idea of dresses. I did say specifically belted day dresses, and I'll get to that here in a little bit, but we're starting with Michelle.
These were, more back to what we were talking about with the female silhouette, right? They wanted to go away from this, like, the kind of straight androgynous looks. So they had a higher cinched natural waistline. They were slim and tailored until maybe a flare at the end. Usually a mid-length hemline. Obviously a matching belt that was either an accessory or sewn right into the dress. Floral prints, polka dots, plaids. I mean, they look fucking great. They really do. I think probably people think, if they don't know it, they think about Julia Roberts,
Pretty Woman,
and Pretty
polo
Woman,
theme.
right? And it came kind of directly from that culture, right? From the racetrack culture, where you really dressed up to go to the races, big hats, So wide shoulder, tiny waist, slim, and then flare to the bottom to make the hourglass. They look great.
Lori?
I agree. A lot of ladies had the same silhouette in different fabric, so they could wear their day dresses for their around the house and then switch to a different fabric like a chiffon. It could be the same look, just dressier. So it's really flexible, fashion wise.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. That's what I want to come back to. Andrea?
I love a belted day dress. I have the one from Pretty Woman, when I had the waist from Pretty Woman. I've had that. I loved a belted dress, and I do like exactly everything Michelle and Lori said. And it took you, because usually a woman's house dress was shapeless, and not in a way like it was shapeless where you usually wore that over your dress, because women did not do their household chores in jeans, or which to me is crazy, because I do them in sweats if I do them sometimes. But no, it is a very pretty silhouette, and I do love it. I just think about like every outfit you ever saw June Cleaver in is
Yep.
basically
Yeah.
a belted day dress.
Yes.
Right? She was just running around cooking meals in a fucking
And heels.
dress.
Yeah. I mean,
they were
Yeah.
vacuuming.
But fear not, they do make these for those of us who are stout.
No,
I loved when I saw stout. I went,
ooh, that's not the best. Or
ew.
Yeah,
God.
and the worst part about that, I mean, beyond that they use the word stout, was that the sleeves for the stout ladies were usually much longer because, we got to cover that bitch up.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
I know.
it's terrible.
I mean, at least good looking out. They were trying to let them be fashionable too, I guess.
Let them.
Mhm.
So as far as dresses go, so both Lori and Andrea hit on this a little bit. I don't think I'm putting too fine of a point on it to say. So number one, just start at the beginning. Women wore dresses all day, right? That's the outfit that a woman is going to wear in this time frame. But they wear different dresses for different events. So you already brought up a house dress, right? So let's just run through. And this is probably not an ordinary day, but just to make my point, imagine this. Wake up, put on your house dress, right? The house dress is only worn at the house. Chores, making meals, or just whatever you're doing at the house. You're wearing a house dress. Then you clean up the house, maybe make a meal or whatever, and then you're going to host friends. So you don't host friends in your house dress. So now you have to put on your hostess gown, which is worn at home and only at home, but for intimate gatherings, like having friends over.
I'm doing this.
And
I'm
then,
doing this.
and then there's a day dress. So you had friends over, and then they leave, and then you put on a day dress to go out of the house. So the first two are just to be worn in the house. One when you're alone, one when you have guests. Two different dresses. Now we're going to go run some errands or go to a flower show or whatever. I don't know what you do in this time, but you got to put on a day dress, right? This is a different dress. Day dresses are usually made of cotton. And again, so then you get back and let's just say that you're going to tea or going to a restaurant. Now there's an afternoon dress. Different than a day dress, even though afternoon is in the day. I'm very confused. But the fancier version of a day dress, essentially,
Disdain.
rayon crepe. I mean, they're just made out of a little bit more of a formal fabric than cotton, right? Then, husband comes home from dinner or from work, and we're going to go out to dinner. Now there's an evening dress.
But you have to change even if when your husband is coming home.
Mhm.
What do you
can't
change
be in a
into?
house dress. You have to change into, I know, not an evening gown, but an evening dress. You can't be in your house dress.
So
You have
You
to
have filthy
be,
ham?
yeah, you have to be.
okay. And then, Odin forbid, you're going to a formal event. Now you need an evening dress.
Yeah.
Sometimes a ball gown if you're going dancing. I'm just saying that's like 7 dress changes in a day, based on the time of day and the event. That is lunacy to me. So then I said all of that, and I know I drug that way out to say, then we have the Depression, and now we got to start cutting back on dresses, maybe
And
on
fashion.
outfits, right? So then day dresses start to be worn. I think Lori said this too, is now this belted day dress during the 30s starts to be worn for several of these events. So you're not buying and changing dresses as often. And I don't know. I just ran through a day for a female in 1931 in my head, and my head almost exploded. So
It also depended on your station in life.
I was going to say,
and
very
your
true.
means.
Yes.
but you had a cotton, usually typically cotton, because you were doing a lot of chores. I can't imagine the amount of ironing these ladies had to do.
I don't want.
But yes, you didn't greet your husband in your dress, that you did all the cooking, all the cleaning, taking care of the children. You had to dress up.
Michelle is so
No,
offended.
the look, if you're only listening to this in an audio format, can we
Get
just
on the YouTube version for that?
at least for this little portion of the show, you have to watch this. Michelle's face is indescribable. I believe Andrea talked about disdain. I just would suggest you just look at Michelle's face during this entire description. Okay. Number 12, I put, peaked lapels.
I want to hear what y'all say before I offer my thing. But Lori.
Well, what I was reading about is meant to give the V shape, similar to the ladies. Most often with the double-breasted jacket that we referenced earlier. And it's paired with a wide leg trouser. That's what I read about. It.
I didn't
too.
see the wide leg
Yep.
trouser.
Because
Oh,
they were
okay.
trying to give that silhouette the menswear as well. There was a whole look for men and women.
Oh, okay. Andrea.
Oh, I love a peaked lapel, especially a jacket with wide leg trousers is what I have on here. But I loved when women would wear them, especially like you'll see and shows up every like 10 years or so at the Oscars without anything under the jacket, which I really like. But Lauren Bacall would wear this. Marlene Dietrich. Couple of the other like they could wear it. I think there's a couple of publicity photos in Mommy Dearest that Joan Crawford is wearing this look, and I know it was more aimed for men, but I like when women jump into men's fashion, not when they do when it's like the crisscross look, because that was ridiculous and still gives me a headache. We'll talk about it in the 90s, but well, I will. But yeah, I like it.
Michelle.
I just have what they have, just that it gave a literal sharper look. It would come real close to the shoulder seams, to offset the otherwise kind of boxier rest of the suit. So it gave them shape where, like a more formal double-breasted, just, was your everyday business suit. This was maybe a little, classier or a little, at least more fashionable.
Yes.
Yeah, the only thing that I saw that I found interesting that y'all didn't mention is that the Art Deco movement that we talked about previously, and so the geometric kind of boldness of the Art Deco movement is a little bit, so the silhouette, yes, all of that, but then also kind of based it on that design movement of that Art Deco that we talked about,
which is like almost always used to be a challenge on Project Runway, when like they took them to the Empire State Building and the Art Deco, and people are like,
it was trying to figure out how I'm going to get that into that.
And that's
what challenging.
Yeah, that's what I thought was interesting is what you just said is how do I, as a designer, how do I take that thing and put it into fashion or into anything really? But yeah, 13. I just necktie. I put necktie with pin, but really I want to talk about the pins, but the necktie is really what I wanted to talk about. And that's Andrea. Right? 13. Andrea, sorry. Oh no.
Okay. I mean, I don't like a tie pin. Sorry, I don't dislike it. It's not like one killed my mom, but I like
not yet.
No.
I always think of I got nothing.
Okay. Lori?
I kind of like it because I think it serves function, right? It's holding your tie in place and keeping it formal looking, but it also could be an accessory, so you could kind of play with it a little bit. I kind of like it. I did find popular patterns were Art Deco and paisley.
Yes.
Tying into your Art Deco point.
Michelle?
I like that they sometimes came as a set. You get the tie pin, cufflinks, sometimes a belt buckle. That was maybe a little bit later, but and that they, you could have some kind of, you could show off like a club affiliation or a habit or an interest or whatever. Like you could have a puppy dog or whatever the shit on there. And that they kind of originated by what they used to tie to keep in place, to keep a cravat in place.
Yes.
Right. And then maybe later an ascot, but not as much. I also kind of dig them.
Yeah.
I mean, if I saw one today, I would just immediately be like, this guy's part of the, American.
It'd be an American flag.
Yeah. Or
It'd be an American flag because all originality.
But back then, if you couple it with like, peak lapel suit. It was just, give them a little something
Flair.
extra. Yeah, some flair.
For flair.
How many pieces of
And
flair?
37 pieces of flair.
And a terrific smile. Back to Lori and Michelle, but when I wanted to tie it back into the lapels that we were talking about, those lapels, at least what I could find, generally were around 3.5 inches wide. And so the ties to match the lapels were also 3.5. They were getting wider to match that whole design. So 3.5 inches on the tie as well. And then the stick pins, right? Or what the tie chains. I never wore really these that much, but I just like the way they look, I guess. But having the sharp pin with the decorative top go through the tie and shirt fabric, I thought it looked good. I feel kind of like I was wrong with Andrea's response to this, but she's like, it's fine. But the tie chain, a chain with a clip that slid into the shirt placket behind the tie, with decorative links or pendants showing, so that you could design these a little bit. But anyway, moving on. Number 14. Oh, the bolero jacket. Michelle.
Big fan. Love the way they look. That, they've, obvious, well, maybe not obviously, but originated, like with Spaniard, with toreros, the bullfighters, and even like early Mexican gauchos, and because they needed something functional but still protective, and so it couldn't be too long because of saddle riding, etc. And then for the bullfighters, it was, I think, mostly for looks, but I love that the vaqueros brought it to America, and like always, we just ripped off a bunch of Mexicans. Good for us. But it was, but when women started wearing it, it was basically, collarless, open, high cut. So again, giving you the silhouette that, you could accentuate the waist because your eyes were all up here. And that seems to be kind of the thread through, no pun intended, through most of this, is that it was business up top.
Yeah.
Right. You wanted the eye all up top, because the skirts or the dresses later would be just kind of plain. All the decoration, everything was all up top. So this added to that, because your eyes drawn to the line, which was usually, somewhere between right under the bust or just a little bit lower. Oh, and the Balenciaga one that's in like MoMA or wherever it is beautiful. So, but he was like very, like, one of the first designers to really translate that into fashion rather than function.
Yes. And his design were so dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about it.
Anything else for it?
I'm also a big fan. I like the evolution of them because they were very showy with the bullfighters. But my favorite is when they wore them with the evening gowns. That was, like you said, if it was a fur or if it was some kind of sparkle, I just think that just adds extra bit of drama that I love. With that smooth fitting silk gown with the bolero, I really love it.
Andrea?
She says,
Not a fan?
Not a fan? Oh, no. Boy, we're going to ganging up on it today.
Yeah. You know what? I do have a negative connotation towards it, because when I was going mother of the groom dress shopping, a lot of the boleros are like, let's cover up Fatty's arms. And I'm like, and they're all, it's like, I see like people do that when they style. They used to like try to style Adele like that before she was, I have a very negative mindset towards it. And I also don't like a shrug, and it reminds me too much of a shrug.
And I think now, like when I see them, I mostly see them on more mature women, and it is very much like a mother of the bride.
I should 1930s this, because when I was on vintage, whatever site that I look
Vintage Dancer.
Vintage Dancer.
oh yeah,
Yeah, when I was on there looking like the patterns and the publicity shots from it, I was like, these are beautiful. So I don't like a bolero now, but I could see then the beauty of it. And like you said, especially with an evening gown, But
Well, and I feel
now
like
it's like
the 30s ones were much more form-fitting to the figure, and now when you see one, it's just like a
it's a
box,
It's a box.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that grandma
Yeah.
can go to the wedding
Yep.
looking nice,
Yep.
right? It's just like a square,
Yeah.
and they're not great.
Yeah.
But the 30s ones were
Are
very much
so
like, designed to.
what I have to do is flip that. I would
Yeah.
tell you, it has devolved. It hasn't, but the 30s were they were stunning. So I do not like what time and
Mhm.
mass production by Sears and Roebuck is done to it. It makes me sad. There's still
That's
there's designers where it can,
sure.
but it is like, let's cover her up.
As soon as you said Mother of the Groom, I went right to what you're talking about, and that's why I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because I went right to like, oh, look, grandma's going to church.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Number 15. Oh, yeah. So I put on there again, beaded evening bag, but we're just talking handbags of the 30s. General overview, and that is number 15. Lori.
Let's see. I read, well, they had beads, and a lot of times they had chains and frames on them. I read one thing, they were described a dancing purse because they would sort of, they could still dance and it would still look cute and it wouldn't go anywhere. So it was kind of a small little bag that you could just keep your essentials in. So I think it was a great accessory. I really love it. I think it can go with anything.
Andrea?
I fucking love a beaded handbag. I love one of my favorite things was my mom had a box of clutches, and I would go through, like, when we would be going from the time I started going to either Fifth Avenue for a musical or ballet, like, she would always be like, you can pick out a clutch or a bag, and I would go and I would pick something out that matched my outfit, and if we didn't have something that matched my outfit, we would go buy something.
Oh.
So, and then my yaya, she had a whole bunch, of course, all in black because the woman only wore black. But I do, and when proms would come around, tolos, formals, you always got a bag or I always got a bag that matched. When I was taking, there's so much versatility to it. You can have ones that are, you could just have the loose one that had no boning or structure to it. It was just almost like a little bag. But the decoration, everything done with it, you could get the ones with the chain so you had this was a great invention, Sean.
Oh, good. Good. I didn't invent it, but thank you. Michelle?
It was interesting to me that a lot of women would make these at home, considering like they were using those little tiny glass beads, and a lot of
Yes.
them had really intricate patterns or designs on them, and I was like, I'm not a crafty person like at all, so the thought of laying out a pattern and understanding where to place the beads in the right is mind-blowing to me. But the most interesting thing actually was that they almost became a necessity, like some kind of bag, because as these dresses got more form-fitting, there were no pockets. There were like maybe your day dress would have a pocket in it because you're running around doing whatever, but like formal dresses, they were too slim, so so the pockets all went away. So you needed something to carry, your husband's money in, I guess. And,
Which is why you see us so excited now. That the second thing you will say after you try something on, or somebody goes, "Oh my God, I love that dress or that skirt."
It
You're
has
like, "It has pockets."
yeah, I won't even buy a dress now that doesn't have
She will
pockets.
not.
Well, that's not true, but I don't love it if they don't have pockets. And that they were geometric shapes too. So sometimes the framework, those metal frames or whatever, or sometimes wooden and later plastic, but they could make interesting shapes out of them, teardrops or flowers or whatever. So
I used to have a really cool flower one. I had one that was like a
like
rose.
shaped like a
Yeah.
I'm repeating most everything you said, but the three of you, but tying it together a little bit. Art Deco again comes in, so geometric shaped purses. I specifically listed evening bags because evening bags are generally smaller than, purse that they're carrying around during the day, I guess.
You only need a compact, and I mean, in the evening bag would be your compact, and what else? Like your cigarettes if you smoked. So
Lipstick.
lipstick, and then
You didn't have money.
no. Shouldn't have had the right to vote either.
What
Oh,
is happening? Number
we're all pretending
16.
we're Erica Kirk.
Number 16, the ascot.
Don't you?
Sorry, everybody.
Oh.
Number 16, ascot. Andrea.
I love an ascot. My only note on this is good on you, Cary Grant. Just whenever I think, and I know it comes from the cravat that was worn at the ascot races. Then the cravat changed, and so that was the ascot. I just always think of like Clark Gable, Cary Grant. There's certain men that could wear them. I love there's a great one. Hemingway was always like, but just the white shirt with the red ascot. It's great. I don't know how you guys do it though. I mean, I know it's really tough to be a man, but I just don't know how you do like neckties and ascots. That stresses me out.
Oh,
It stresses me out. I can't tie them. I don't like them. That and more I don't like.
Those are the two big ones.
Yeah.
Neckties and war.
Neckties and more.
Okay. Lori?
I love them because they came in all kinds of patterns. I wear scarves all the time, so to me this is just like a smaller scarf, and I think they're a great fashion statement. Cary Grant looked amazing. I mean, that
Archie-
guy could pull
Yes.
up an ascot like nobody's business. I just think, and a lot of times they were easier than tying a tie, honestly. And it's just very expressive way to use fashion, in my opinion.
Yeah. Michelle?
Fred Jones. That's all I ever think of. Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah,
Freddie had a fucking orange ascot.
He did. God, Fred was worthless.
He was not. Yeah.
Wow.
He couldn't solve a crime like, and then he always took credit. Poor Velma's like, bitch, I solved it. You're over here running around with Titsy McGee, and I'm like, even when I lose my glasses, I solve this shit.
You know which one of us is Titsy McGee in this scenario, right?
You got to be so mean to me.
I like that they kind of they were the more subdued version of like, earlier century big fucking
Yes,
ruffles
right.
and
Beau Brummel.
like, yes, and like just like lace and extravagance, and they were like, you know what, calm down a little bit. Maybe this can still look nice without it swallowing your head.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
sorry, folks. Mom was.
Number 17, the pillbox hat. Michelle.
Not break the rules here, but
I am breaking the rules.
Oh,
That's what my note says.
okay, so we'll just start with, very small, brimless, usually unadorned, solid color, flat top,
Looks like a pillbox.
looks like a pillbox, wool, velvet, some kind of fur, leopard skin. Thank you, Bob Dylan. That's a reference to Leopard Skin Pillbox Hat by Bob Dylan, which was done even better by Raphael Sadiq. Sorry you didn't get your Oscar, homie.
Yeah, we're sorry about that.
Yeah, and that
Homie?
the origins are from like Roman military uniforms and then later kind of adapted, but I just, it's not for me. How about that?
It's also not for first ladies when they go to other states.
Yeesh.
Lori?
I'm torn on this one because I love when they have the little netting over them, but I don't think they're the most flattering hat in the whole world. If you're gonna do a hat, I don't know that pillbox is the way to go. I don't think it adds anything besides ladies were supposed to wear hats back then. They're not my favorite. I think in the right outfit, maybe it could work, but
Hmm.
that's my opinion about those.
Yeah, I'd rather have a fascinator than a pillbox.
Mhm.
Yeah, agreed.
What is that?
So like a tiny, think like a yarmulke shape almost. Like when you see British ladies at the, at a wedding, or if they're not wearing a big hat, they're wearing kind of an off the side
Oh,
piece with like usually some kind of netting or
Oh
feathers
yeah,
or
like
whatever.
usually had like an awesome one for
or or a flower or
Harry's
something.
wedding, I
That's a
think it was.
fascinator, right?
Yeah.
It's just a small.
fascinating.
Yeah,
Andrea?
that's it.
I concur with my two friends here. I'm not a huge fan of the pillbox. I think very few women can. Grace Kelly could wear one, but it's still very few women. That's why more women went with the fascinator, because you have to have a hat on. But when it comes precariously close to lie, breaking the rules, it's not the 30s. It doesn't. It's not the 30s.
You can't do that. You broke the rules. What about Greta Garbo? I only ask because this design, even though Michelle was right, where it comes from, it was introduced by Gilbert Adrian for Greta Garbo in the 1932 film As You Desire Me. I didn't say it worked. I'm just telling you what started it.
Yeah, it reminds me of a bell caps hat, like the little.
Yeah, it does.
But if you have any amount of volume to your hair, I feel like this is a terrible hat for you.
Yes.
Right. Which is why going towards what you were, I think, leaning towards is like when Jackie O was wearing these, she had great big hair and it just made the hat look. I mean, listen, she was beautiful and she had mad fashion sense. But this, even though Halston was doing all these special hats for her, like I just feel like you have to have a very specific look and to pull this off. And I just, yeah. And again, I agree with what you broke the rules with.
The show is called We Regret Nothing. And so far, the only regret that I've ever had to say is I'm sorry that I talked shit about the South.
You've done it twice, though. You've said it and apologized twice now.
But I regret that for those people that I wasn't intending, but the racists in Kid Rock, I meant it towards.
Okay. Number 18.
When you say sorry, not sorry, I'm not sure that's a real apology, but carry on.
Number 18 is T-strap shoes. Lori?
Well, this is a kind of a carryover from the 20s because it's still considered kind of a dancing shoe. Still flattering, still super flexible. I like it. I don't think it's necessarily the 30s because I think it kind of still is, people still wear them today. So I don't know if it's necessarily the 30s.
Now Lori's doing it. It's contagious.
It is a great looking shoe. I mean, it is flattering to the foot, especially with the ankle strap.
Yeah. Huh. Michelle?
I love a T-strap shoe. The problem is the ankle, right? Usually, so I have a pair of really, really cute, like basket woven design Michael Kors.
Nice.
They're gorgeous. They're open toed though, so they aren't like as truly a T-strap, but they they have a buckle that hits right there.
Wow.
Just and because they have about they have like a 2-inch heel on them maybe. They are tough to walk in because they look great, but they're
a standing shoe or a sitting shoe.
They're a don't move shoe, right? Just put them on and post your feet pics because they are an ankle killer. But I love the look of them. I love just the meeting of the strap up to the ankle. I love the way they look, but yeah, they're gorgeous.
Andrea?
I like a T-strap, but I don't seek one out. But I do like them. I know the shoes you're talking about, I have coveted. Yeah, it's a great, it made a real, I mean, it's still around, like Lori said, like there's still obviously, Michelle's got a pair. But it made a huge resurgence again in the 70s because I remember every pair of shoes that I stole from my sisters and walked around until they caught me. And those were all T-straps because I remember trying to get it through because they would pull it all the way out because they knew I was 4. So there's a reason that, but I couldn't like get it. So then I wasn't going to wear their super expensive shoes. But yeah, I do like them. Yeah.
I do love them in a sandal, like a flat sandal.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yes.
And I've seen a big resurgence of that.
So have I. There was
in the last
there was
couple
a
of
pair
years.
that I just saw the other day
Yeah.
at Macy's, and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
because I wanted to get them from Mexico.
Yeah, I saw a really cute. Okay, anyway.
They're real flattering to the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Number 19, the zipper. It's crazy as that sounds, but we got to talk about the zipper in the 30s. So, Andrea.
Oh, not the ride at the Puyallup Fair.
It's the Washington State Fair.
It's the Puyallup Fair, and if you call it the Washington State Fair, you're not getting in our bed tonight. It's a Puyallup Fair. What is it?
The zipper is what it is.
That's where I threw up on Dave Ray. I mean, after I got off the zipper.
It's. I can't imagine not having the zipper, but for just seeing, but zipper's great. Love the zipper, that the garment thing, not the ride. But so many outfits from this time had the hidden zipper. Hidden zipper on skirts that I had, like, or pants, or I was always getting it caught. And so it's like, I love this, but me personally, I was always like, fuck, I hate a hidden zipper. Mm-hmm. That's it, Sean.
Okay. So we have the ride at the fair, hidden zippers, and
The Puyallup Fair, Sean. No, hidden zippers are a bit. Do you have anything with hidden zippers? Have you ever that you know besides our pillowcase?
not that I can think of. No.
Yeah, like it's zippers, and zippers were a bitch. Like they've definitely evolved over the years. Because how many times would you get it caught when you were a little kid, and that never happens now. And I don't mean because I'm more dexterous. Is it dexterous?
Dexterous.
Zippers have just gotten better and better and better, but to be able to be like zipped into an evening gown or zipped for the side, but then that had to be great on so many bladders and sex lives.
Lori.
It's interesting that you say that when you're a little kid, because I read that it was marketed, first of all, for children's clothing to make them learn how to dress themselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which seems kind of tough. I mean, but, but you know, this is a different time. But I think in the right garment, they are great. You know, they're quicker than buttons for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about it, but
Okay.
I'm glad that we have them today.
Michelle.
I also read the thing about for kids, and that once again, Elsa Schiaparelli was like at the forefront of putting it into fashion, where you actually could see it rather than it being hidden, and it became part of, like, in her early collection, she would actually show the zipper,
Yes.
right, and actually use it as an adornment. And I know from personal experience that Vera Wang was a big fan of Shia. I can never fucking say this.
Is it Shia or is it Skia?
I think it's Shia, but
thought
I
it
don't
was
know.
Skia.
Anyway, Elsa,
Let's just call her Elsa.
Yes.
I mean,
that because we were at dinner in San Francisco at Venu, and Vera Wang was at the table across from us. She was wearing a black, very like, neck to floor black dress, but when she got up and she was going to the restroom, she had a solid gold zipper about this wide that went
Nice.
from the top all the way to the
I
bottom.
wonder if I still have that
Awesome.
picture because Michelle was
Oh
like,
man, I mean, it was
Michelle's like, look who's
stunning,
in
and
it.
I remember
Love that.
thinking, like, that's the only adornment on this dress. Otherwise, it just from the front looked like a very slim fitting but nice kind of plain
Mhm.
black dress. And then I was like, holy shit,
That's awesome.
holy shit, yeah, it looked great. And I thought,
Yeah.
like, I never thought about a zipper as an adornment
Yeah.
until that, and then I read that no, that was part of the game back in the
That
day.
is awesome.
Mhm.
I didn't I'll do it when we review. Never mind. I'll save that for when we review.
Oh, okay. Just a real, I don't want to belabor this too much, but just a real quick historical perspective of in the beginning, well, I don't want to go all the way back to 1851, not in the beginning, but in the process of the history of the zipper. So Chicago born Whitcomb Judson, created what he called a clasp locker. And so this invention, which was described as a complicated fastener featuring hooks and eyes led by a guide to close an item. And so he applies for it, gets a patent for his clasp locker, but in the patent application, he called it a shoe fastening clasp locker. So just naturally went for boots and shoes. But then much later, but because Judson's slide fastener was far from perfect. It would break open without warning, and it was just so hard to actually get locked. So then, 1906, 26-year-old Swedish-American electrical engineer Gideon Sundback was recruited to work at the Judson's Universal Fastener Company. And that was in Jersey, whatever, but he marries the daughter of the big boss, and he gets promoted to be the head engineer. And and then unfortunately in 1911, when she passed, all he did was work. He reportedly never left the factory. He worked for 2 years there, and he creates the hookless fastener number 1, which this is featuring 2 facing rows of teeth that were pulled together by a single slider. It's a zipper. He created the zipper, but based on Judson's original design of the hook and clasp, he made it better. And then to Lori's point, somewhere around, because that was in 1913, I want to say 1914, they got the patent for it, and it just went on boots. So how we got the name zipper, U.S. manufacturing company B.F. Goodrich fitted the zipper to their rubber-based footwear, galoshes essentially, and someone at B.F. Goodrich, I couldn't find who, they called them zippers. I don't know why. I don't know.
Maybe the noise or something?
It's the most likely thing, but I don't want to say it like I know.
Yeah.
I just know B.F. Goodrich started putting zippers in their boots, and somebody called them zippers, and we have called them zippers ever since.
I read that part of it was the noise, and when they marketed it, it was so that with a quick zip of your hand.
See what I mean? That's good too.
Okay,
that's
so
good.
they started calling the boots then were called zippers.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But I'll say, so in the 20s, the 2 chief uses of the zipper were closing boots and tobacco pouches. They put zippers on tobacco pouches. And I can't find where, but somewhere in the early 1930s, to Lori's point, somebody got the bright idea of putting zippers on children's clothing for independence and everything you said. And then, we got zippers. And
I read that the first major usage of it for clothing other than shoes was in 1925 in New York. They started putting them on leather jackets because it was a tougher material to keep closed tightly, and so they started putting them on leather jackets.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm
a line from a book that the leather jackets and zippers, and it's just this sweet. Oh, look at all your zippers! It's like the sweetest line.
I thought y'all were gonna make fun of me for putting zippers on here. So
No,
thanks for that, and thanks for letting me bog it down with my history there. Okay, so number 20, gloves. I didn't want to be specific. We're talking evening gloves in general, and that is Michelle.
Lori, would you like to show off your gloves?
Yes,
darling. They were used
Lori and her
both
gloves.
for
Lori, how many pairs of gloves do you have?
Fancy ones?
No, just all.
Wow. So I have these ones, and then I have my black ones that I wear every day, and then just winter gloves. I don't.
Those are.
I
Are
wish
you
I had.
breaking into
I
homes? I
wish-
see you wear a lot of gloves.
Oh. My hands are very cold and a bit of a germaphobe, so it does 2 things.
So I have that they for fashion they were used either for modesty or to convey elegance. That the daytime, your regular daytime gloves were short. They were washable, usually cotton. or kid leather gloves. Very basic colors, really usually no patterns. Other versions, like for evening, would be longer, opera length, adornments, embroidery, buttons, pearls, all kinds, and usually silk or lace or something, a much fancier material. A gauntlet, I love a gauntlet glove. Big, and those were functional at first, used to keep like the cups of your dress clean or whatever, but then later became fashionable, and that they were used in a lot of cases in the home to prevent spreading germs.
Yes.
Michelle, you brought up gauntlet gloves. What do you love about them?
They look fucking cool.
The look of them?
Yeah.
No, so listen, before prepping for this episode, I didn't know that's what they were. I saw gauntlet gloves and had to go look them up. I saw the picture. I went, oh, I know what that is. Oh, that
I
makes
think
sense.
people, when they think about a gauntlet glove, are like the guy at the zoo holding the raptor on his arm, right? And because that is a that is a gauntlet glove, right? Protecting his wrists from being mauled by, an owl or some shit. But back then, they were shorter. They were much more form-fitting, and then would just have the gauntlet open up, and they fucking look cool. And you could put cool shit on them, right?
Yeah.
They were often, that was the part that was adorned, was the gauntlet, not the actual glove.
Okay. Thank you for that. Lori?
I love them. I wish I had more. I think these were a gift. I would wear these every day if I could. But I just think they're just such a great accessory, like leather ones. And I mean, these have a little adornment on them. But also, we talked about it in the 20s because the ladies were smoking, so they're trying to keep that
tobacco off their hand.
Tobacco off their hand. And I used to love when the ladies, and even into the 40s and 50s, they would have a little glove, and they would come into the room and take off their gloves. It was it's like a whole procedure with the purse and the glove. And I just like the femininity of that. I just think they're cool.
Andrea, anything else?
I would have lost so many pairs because I did. Because when I went to church when I was a little girl, I wore gloves to church. You wore gloves to church. We didn't. The older women wore hats. And by older women, I mean from 18 on, you had to, I think it was more like marriageable. But so I had a whole bunch of white velvet gloves. And then every time there was something formal, I would always go and get gloves to match my dress. I like that. I can hear you over there. I can hear you. I like the theater of it. Like Lori said, that's one of my favorite scenes in Rear Window when she comes in, when he's the first time you meet Lisa, and she takes off her bolero jacket, she takes off her gloves, and she takes off her hat. But I do love that this was what in one of the articles I read, that women wore gloves nonstop unless eating or responding to nature.
Oh.
Respond.
Oh. Okay.
And that is now my new one.
Don't wipe your bits and pieces with your fucking gloves on, you nasty.
So from now on, I'm just going to say, I'll be back. I'm responding to nature.
I like that, and I may be overthinking it, but I feel like responding to nature does several things.
Yes.
Whether it's intimacy with a partner, going to the facilities, responding.
Keeping my gloves on.
You're like Babs. Babs in Animal House with the gloves on with
okay, so thank you, all three of you, for all of that. And so we're at the part of the show. No. We're missing a segment here. So this is our segment. You get one. And if you don't have one, that just speaks to the fidelity of my list. If you do, I don't take offense. So that's great. Lori, do you have anything for this segment?
I do not.
Okay. Andrea?
I did. And then I did the research and I was like, it doesn't fit 30s. Fuck it. So no.
Oh. Michelle, anything?
I do not.
Okay. So now we can move on to the good part. So let's narrow this down to a top 10. I'm just going to give you the item and then ask you for a yes or no. So let's just start with the bias cut gown. And sorry, I need to go back. I'm going to give you the item and you're going to tell me yes or no. Does this item, with no explanation, represent the 1930s? So again, it's not whether you like it or don't like it or whatever. It is
Pointed to me.
when aliens open the capsule and look at the item, will they understand that this came from the 1930s? Okay, so the bias cut gown, Lori.
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Oh, that's easy. Number 2, wide leg trousers for women, Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Number 3, double-breasted suit, Michelle.
Yes.
Lori.
It's okay, Lori.
No.
Andrea.
Yes.
Oh, number 4, puffed sleeves, Lori.
Yes.
Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
No.
Oh, Lori. You all are going against our fashion.
Listen, we're wrong.
Okay, 'cause-
Probably.
Okay, number 5, an evening cape, Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes. Lori's like, I'm gonna hold you all in my thrall.
Yeah, don't hold me responsible for this. I'm just taking notes. Number 7, Hollywood waves. The Hollywood waves. Michelle.
No.
Lori.
No.
Andrea.
No.
Number 7, backless dresses. Lori.
It's about this one. I think no.
Okay. Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle.
No.
Okay. Oxford bags. Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
Yes.
Lori.
No.
Felt fedora. Michelle.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Andrea.
Jason Mraz.
Spectator shoes. Lori.
I think no.
Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
Yes.
Belted day dresses. Andrea.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
John, how many yeses do I have? I forgot how to count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yeses.
Okay, thank you.
Peaked lapels. Michelle.
No.
Lori.
No.
Andrea.
No.
Necktie with tie pin. Lori.
I'm gonna say I don't even know. What am I at?
How many yeses do you have? You have 6 yeses. And right now we have 5 that are in.
I'm gonna say no. Even though I love them.
Lori says no.
I love 'em, but no.
Andrea.
What are we on?
Necktie with tie pin.
Sorry, I worked ahead. No.
Michelle.
No.
Bolero jacket. Andrea. Michelle.
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Beaded evening bags. Michelle.
Yes.
Andrea.
Yes.
That's supposed to be Lori. Sorry, Lori.
Yes.
Okay. And the ascot. Lori.
I love these so much. But no.
Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
No.
Pillbox hat. Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
No.
Lori.
No.
Oof. T-strap. Are we saying sandal? What did I call that?
Just shoe.
Just shoe. Sorry. T-strap shoe. Michelle.
Love it, but no.
Lori.
No.
Andrea.
No.
She's
So
so
just
sad.
The
No.
zipper. Lori.
No.
Andrea.
No.
Michelle.
No.
Okay. And the gloves, let's just say gauntlet gloves.
All gloves.
All gloves. Okay. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Michelle,
No.
Lori.
Yes.
Okay. So let me just start with what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are there's actually only, there's 2. So there's 2 where 2 of you voted yes and 1 of you voted no. And my inclination is to include those in the yeses.
Okay.
Okay. So then that would be sorry, Lori, that number 3, Lori voted, the double-breasted suit. And then that's, there's 2 no's, all no's, no's. Yep. So that then leaves us with number 20, gloves.
So do we have 10?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9. So, that starting at the top, puff sleeves, Andrea and Michelle are no's. So, Lori, if you would, make your case for puff sleeves in the 1930s.
Well, I think it kind of goes to like it's the silhouette because you could really play up any garment with a puff sleeve.
Okay.
You could make it feminine. You could make it dramatic. I just think it had a lot of pluses for me.
Okay. Well, you have to convince the 2 people on the couch.
I think it adds to the silhouette of the V silhouette that both women and men favored.
Yeah.
I think if done wrong, it can get a little crazy. But I can see, like, are we thinking 20s?
My no was based on when I see that look, I think earlier in the century.
Yeah.
Same here.
Like I don't think about it
Yes.
specifically in that
In the
time
30s.
frame.
That's exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes
Fashion wise, it was all over, but it's not when I look at it, I don't immediately think about the 30s.
Yes.
Which is the only reason I said no.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So next, Andrea, I have backless dresses. You were a yes and the other 2 were no's. Why? Why is a backless dress represent the 30s?
It started showing up in movies more, but before that, it goes to what Michelle said earlier about going away from the androgyny of the 20s. A backless dress, and to me, the reason it says 30s is just the drama of it. How, like I said when we first talked about it, like you see the front and a woman could be completely covered, and you turn around and there's so much. It's not just the backless dress. Like I said before, you're either the twins are free or you have like there's so much to think about. What is under that dress and what is keeping things held, if there is anything. Like it just, where the 30s was like, you know what, we're fucking, let's go for this. It's just,
I could give on this, I think, because my initial argument was exactly the same. It's like when I see it, I don't think about the 30s, except when I see it on a movie star now, when I see it on an actress now, I immediately think of it like a throwback to old Hollywood glamour. So does that mean necessarily that I think about the 30s? I don't know, but I'm willing to budge on this one based on just that reaction. Like when you're Oscar's red carpet, for instance, right? If Zendaya turns around and that shit's plunged into her ass crack, I think, ooh, that's like, something you used to see. So I would give on that one for sure.
Okay.
So it's between backless dresses and puff sleeves. Or
no, if Michelle changes her
okay.
no,
Okay.
that gives us 10. But Michelle didn't get to defend her.
What was the one that I said?
So Michelle was a yes, when the other 2s were no.
I do remember that.
Was number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spectator shoes. Michelle said yes, and the other 2 said no.
I could see. Is your no because they bridged a couple of decades?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm good with that because I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 40s more when I see
Yeah.
spectator shoes.
And I could budge on the backless dresses because I like that throwback. Because you're right, that does have more of a connotation of someone see a modern day puff sleeve. Maybe not so much, but a modern day
Yeah, it
backless
immediately
dress.
makes me think of
You think of the
old
Hollywood
Hollywood.
glamour of the 30s.
Mhm.
Okay, well, we have our top 10.
Yay!
Uh,
Will you recap them,
yes.
please?
So our top 10 in no particular order: bias cut gown, wide leg trousers for women, double breasted suit, evening cape, backless dresses, felt fedora, belted day dresses, bolero jacket, beaded evening bags, and gloves. That is our top 10. So, if you're still with us, made it through this, all of the tomfoolery, thank you, number one. But number two, connect with us on social media. Let us know what you think of the top 10. Let me know that I'm horrible at this. Let those three know that they're crazy and wrong. I really don't care what you say, to be frank. I mean, within reason. But
Don't be a dick.
don't be a dick. That's probably a good rule. And then the other one, take care of yourself. And until next time, we'll see you then.
So swing to the future, the past in our sight. We regret nothing, the capsules tonight.